Well, here we go, man. This is what I've been looking forward to. We're going to talk about the whole injury angle, and this takes place November 28th, 1992 on the edition of World Championship Wrestling. During a match with you and Austin, Watts defeated you by submission with the STF. This is the match that we watched last week's show to close the show. This is the last match, Arn, that you have with the company for several months. However, you recorded a sit-down interview with Jesse Ventura in December that would air 3 weeks later in the first week in January. We have the interview. It's our first clip of the week. Let's take a look at the way you and Jesse, who, by the way, you just told us last week you got to spend some time with here recently. This is from the January 2nd, 1993 episode of World Championship Wrestling, recorded in December. Let's take a listen to what you had to say, Arn.
Hi, this is Jesse the Body Ventura, and I'm sitting in for my colleague Tony Schiavone on WCW Up Close. And I'm thrilled to sit in here today because I have a man sitting with me, someone who even I admire. And there ain't many people in this wrestling world that Jesse the Body admires. But the person sitting with me, Arn Anderson, AA, the Enforcer, unbelievable career in World Championship Wrestling. Arn, you go way back to the days of the Four Horsemen. You've basically ruled WCW in the time you've been involved in World Championship Wrestling.
Well, I've certainly grown up with WCW and the old NWA. I came here just basically a rookie, greenhorn, and I learned. I learned through battling the best. Back to the Dusty Rhodes era, the Magnum TA era, which wasn't so long ago. I took my knocks, I took my bumps, and I learned that you either learn to persevere or you get out. So my roots are here. I feel like this is my home.
Well, I'll tell you, you got a great background, Arn. You know, the thing that you and I have in common, we're both Minnesotans, exactly. And everybody knows how tremendous amateur wrestling is in the Midwest. I mean, it's where all the power. You got Minnesota, Iowa, the Big Ten wrestling, and that's where you came up with an amateur background. And I got to hand it to you. You've held just about every tag team title there is to hold in World Championship Wrestling. You're at the peak of your career right now. But you've suffered an injury, which we all know can happen. It's a rough business, a rough game. You get hurt. How's the knee doing right now?
Well, Jess, I've had every injury known to man. 3 years ago in February, I broke my neck. Herniated disc that qualifies. I've had every other injury. Torn groin. I never could sympathize with guys when they hurt their knee because I'd never been through it. Now, it's that plateau of healing. When you start to heal, it just plateaus off. Athletes understand what I'm talking about. You go through a process where you get better, you get a little better, and then it just cuts off, and it's frustrating because without your legs, you cannot compete. I've competed hurt before, as you know.
We all do.
All athletes have had to.
Sure.
But you can't compete on any serious level without your wheels.
Well, 92's drawing to a close now, Arn, and I know we're all looking forward to 1993. I think personally it's going to be the biggest year in WCW history, 1993. A lot of young new wrestlers coming up, a lot of talent that's been here for quite some time right now that it is at the top. What's your expectations for 1993? You've done it all. What's left to do?
Let me tell you the kicker at this point, Jesse. The reason my leg is hurt, you're talking about the young talent. I hurt this leg in a match with Eric Watts, national television.
Right. Well aware of it.
Hurt it, he put that new STF on it, took advantage of a situation that he learned from Chono, and he put that hold on, and he hurt that knee. Which, hurrah, good for Eric Watts. But let me tell you the kicker, after what I've been and all that I've done in WCW and the old NWA, here's the kicker. When it comes rebuttal time, if I can get this knee well, I don't have a contract in 93.
What?
Bill Watts is not renewing my contract. It's sweep Arn Anderson out the door, no rebuttal. Let him, if he can get well, fine, but he'll have no rebuttal in WCW, AKA Bill Watts.
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. You're telling me, Arn, you've got no contract for 93? A talent of your caliber, they're not signing you?
I've earned the right to be here forever, Jesse, in my eyes.
You're damn right you have.
This is my home. Okay, but Eric Watts, understand one thing, and this pertains to you, not Daddy. No contract doesn't pertain to the streets. It doesn't pertain to these arenas where I can buy a ticket. It doesn't pertain to airports. You may be sitting there with your girlfriend holding hands in one of these ice cream shops. Understand one thing, I was here first. I earned my way. And I'm not gonna be shoved aside and take it lightly. You can rest assured of that. I'm Arn Anderson. I've earned that right.
I think Bill Watts is protecting his kid. I don't like it. This is Jesse the Body Ventura, the man who tells it like it is. Watts, quit protecting your kid. That's it for this week on Up Close and WCW.
Arn, real, raw, I'm invested after watching that. What'd you think?
100% legitimate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You're addressing everything we just talked about building up to that clip without either of us having watched that clip fully. You nailed it in a shoot style interview.
well, I mean, it's some of this stuff I remember crystal clear. And again, it wasn't just me that was getting picked on. Talent were being let go. They were getting low ball offers on contracts as each contract came due. The guys were getting different deals, but they were all being cut. Nobody was getting more money. Nobody was making more money. Hey, I'd like to give you a raise. It doesn't matter your history. It doesn't matter how over you were. Your drawing ability, your working ability, your ability to talk, being a representative of the company, none of that was considered. It was just, how can we cut the payroll? And I was going to be, the timing was, it just so happened that my contract was running out, and I had an injury. That's a bad combination.
But the storytelling that you took us on from, hey, I was here, NWA, WCW, the Magnum TA days. I mean, that's it's all true, but it's goosebumps. I was a rookie, and you take us through the narrative of how you worked your way all the way up, then to put Eric over and how he came in with Daddy. So good, Arn, and man, deliberate, measured. This is old school enforcer all the way in a shoot style interview. This does a lot for this story, man.
Well, I meant every word of it.